Hello and welcome to Olivia's Catastrophe. I'm Olivia and today I'm here to give you a book review of The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. It's one of those books that I received for review in ebook form, and because I loved it so much I had to buy a physical copy. As soon as I read the title, The Summer That Melted Everything, I was like, that's my kind of title. I need to read that book. And then I saw the beautiful cover and the beautiful spine and I was like, now I really need to read this book. So then I read it, I loved it, I told everybody about it on my blog, I've got a written review which I'll link below, and then I bought the physical copy so that I could tell you guys about it in a video. Isn't that so nice? Anyway, so let's get down to the book and I'm going to tell you what it's about. It's about this little village called Breathed in Ohio, and it's like, you spell it like breathed but you're supposed to say Breathed, and Fielding Bliss is this child who just lives with his family. His mum is afraid to go outside, so she always stays in the house. He looks up to his older brother Grant, who he sees as his idol, you know, as younger siblings generally do. And then he's also got his dad, who is a priest or someone who works in a church, and his dad becomes curious, so he writes an article in the newspaper asking for the devil to please come to this city because he wants to meet him. And this little boy, who's about Fielding's age, shows up, called Sal, with bright green eyes and says, "I'm the devil, you invited me to come, can I stay?" And that's basically the premise of this book, but you guys, it doesn't even begin to cover it. And I know what you're thinking, and I'm just going to correct you here, because most people say, oh look, the devil is coming, it's going to be a religious, you know, Christian or something like that kind of book, and it's all religious, blah blah blah. It's not. Although it does have some religion in it, it's totally not religious. It's kind of the opposite, because even though it's talking about the devil, it's more so talking about the devil in an abstract manner. And even though the father is a member of the church, there's just so much going on. It's not religious, you know, condescending kind of talk where it's like, oh, you should join the Christian religion. It's more so you need to think about your actions, that type of point of view. I don't think I'm getting there as much as I should be getting there, but it's not the religious crazy thing that you're thinking. Given that I just said it's not about the whole religious thing, I think one of the most interesting aspects of the novel that appealed to me was how Sal tried to prove he was the devil by talking about things like heaven and hell in his own way. And Fielding is a child, you know how children have lots of questions. One of the questions he asks Sal is, what is hell like? And Sal describes it as being something different for each individual person. He takes away the idea that hell is this burning pit of fire, but that your hell is specifically made just for you. And that just made me think, what would my hell consist of? It was just really thought-provoking, and it was a really interesting aspect of the story. It's like only a brief part of the book, but it really made me think. And that just leads straight on to one of the major themes of this novel, which is fear in general. You can see that represented by the main characters in the story, which are Fielding's family. Fear is instilled in every single one of them and is the cause of every single one of their actions, which weaves into the plot and makes the plot what it is. For example, one of the fears that's the most obvious is the mother's. She refuses to leave the house. She's afraid of the outside world, and mostly what she's actually afraid of is rain. She's afraid of it raining, being caught in the rain, so she never leaves the house. Something about that happens later on in the story. But then we've also got the dad, whose main fear is the devil, which is why he invites the devil over. I know that doesn't make sense, but it does make sense in the story. And then you've got Fielding, and your problem is you have to try and determine what is Fielding's fear in this novel. Grant, the older brother, has a very discreet fear that comes more obvious throughout the book, but no spoilers from me, so you have to see what that fear is going to morph into. And that leads on, again, it perfectly leads on to the moral question, which is at the centre of this book, and that is, who is the real devil? Although it starts at a superficial level with Fielding questioning Sal and Sal being questioned by the members of the city like, how are you the devil? Prove you're the devil, blah blah blah. Because Sal claims he's the devil, people start to do devil-worthy things. Is it because Sal's there? Is it because they feel like they need to prove themselves? Is it because it's been in them all along? This book is such a mind it just messes with your mind so much that in the end, by the time I finished the book, I was like, wow, I really get it, because I really couldn't determine, was the devil in Sal, was the devil in Fielding, was the devil in the people of the city, who was the devil actually in, who was the one who caused all the problems that happen in this book to actually happen. You don't know, and you have to try and figure it out yourself, and that's what Tiffany McDaniel is trying to get into. Is the devil something separate from us, or is the devil within all of us and it's always present, or is the devil something dormant that you can activate and tap into? It's like, what is even the devil? And personally, as someone religious, I found that very, very thought-provoking, but also as someone who was trying to read it from the non-religious perspective, it made me think about what is bad and where does bad come from. Let's talk about the author herself. Let's talk about Tiffany McDaniel's writing style, because if I could drink a book because I knew it was going to taste so beautiful and taste perfect like the ideal wine, it would be this book. Because there's something about Tiffany McDaniel's writing style that is just passionate, that is just heartbreakingly beautiful, and is going to pierce your heart and then twist it and rip it out of your chest and make you look at it and think like, wow, you just killed me, and I kind of liked it because it was so wonderful. I think that's a very accurate description of her writing style. So yes, Tiffany McDaniel's writing style rivals with some of the best writing styles I have ever read. It is absolute beautiful, magical, lyrical writing style that does not get in the way of the plot, that does not get in the way of the character building, and that is something that can be really hard to do as an author, and she's just gone and nailed it in a single book, and I'm like left sitting there finishing the book like, what am I supposed to do with my life now that I've read this, you know? And all in all, this book is really just a slight historical fiction. It's set a bit into the past, but not into the past like, you know, set around a historical event, but just set in history that deals with a theme that I haven't talked about at all. I haven't mentioned this theme, and that's because that theme is the plot twist, but it's a theme that is very present today and is a problem as much to, not a problem, but an issue as much today as it was back then, and the handling of that issue has not become any better, which makes this book so relevant to not only character-driven readers who would enjoy this, but plot-based readers who would also enjoy this. It ties in well with the themes of religion, it ties in well with the themes of fear, and it ties in well with the themes of pain that you are going to experience after having read this book. And it's going to make you think about your opinion on the matter, and it's going to make you think about other people's opinion on the matter, and it's going to try and make you make up your mind. It's just everything you want in a book, guys. Come on, how much more do I need to sell it to you? Please let me know in the comment section below if you have ever had a book that has just been so heart-wrenchingly beautifully written that you just wanted to eat it. Let me know, because I need to read more books like this one. Please hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more. I post videos every week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And hey, if you want to be notified about my future videos, make sure you click that bell button so you can get a notification. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another video. Goodbye!